Hello everyone, this is Crypto Riot 22, and we want to take a look at the hits we had from the July remote viewing session. In this particular drawing, which as you can tell on screen it's a little blurry. That's due to my camera that I use to take the picture, but I have the actual paper right next to me and I can read these a lot easier. But you can follow along here somewhat. If you notice here, I have divided the page in half. I was experimenting with a small amount of meditation here, 1 to 2 minutes, and I went right straight down through here writing my notes. And then later I came back and did, that says no meditation right there, and I just took off writing. I want to see if there was a difference in the amounts of meditation. Now I can compare this to 20 to 30 minutes of meditation also. That's what I'm accustomed to doing, but the results really haven't been much to talk about versus what we're going to talk about today. So I don't believe there's any benefit to extending the amount of meditation you do before going straight into a session. It seems to be just a matter of, is your mind calm or not? Are you distracted by a bunch of things or not? And so on this particular day, I wasn't distracted by anything, so I didn't need much meditation. Just clear my mind and go. Honestly, there's usually always a song running around in my head when I'm doing these, and it doesn't seem to interfere at all. So I find that to be interesting. So anyway, these news predictions were uploaded on July 1st. These are recorded on my Patreon. The links should be below, and you can see when the image was uploaded. If you think that I might be cheating somehow and writing these down afterwards. So you can follow along if you need to there. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start on the left, even though that's not where I started. I'm going to start here at the top. This says cheese grater, which I thought was bizarre when I wrote it. So I completely left the topic thinking that it had nothing to do with the news. Well, hold that thought. There's actually news about cheese graters. Let's see here. Check this news item out. Apparently there's a building in London called the Cheese Grater Skyscraper. Yep. That's a picture of it. That's what a cheese grater looks like here in America. So I have no idea why there's a star next to it's like a star there. I don't know if you see that in the pattern of the building or not. But anyway, that link is below. You can take a look at that. That really surprised me that word would show up in the news. And anyway, I just have to keep writing down what I come up with, and then trying to look this stuff up later. And I'm just usually surprised. But let's go on to the next one. This says hot concert, low flyover, and is there a crash? A question mark. And so again, in Europe over there, I guess this is London. Spitfire airplane and hurricane flying over the town. Some kind of festival going on. Upton Blues Festival. 250 to 300 feet in altitude. That's very low. And the article goes on to say you could basically wave at the pilot as he flies over. So when I was in session and was seeing this, I saw people at what looked like it was like a concert stage on the left, and just a crowd of people facing the concert stage. And I could see an airplane just fly right over the top of them, really low. That's why I wrote the word crash beside it. It looked like it was so low that it was going to crash. So anyway, that was a big, clear hit, I think. So, like I said, the links are below. You can read more about that. The next one was an incident involving Egypt, where tourists were injured. And there were multiple articles coming up for that, but this one was the most intense. So in Luxor, Egypt, hot air balloons crashed, injured tourists, you can see here. I had written the word pyramid next to my Egypt injured tourist words. And there really aren't any in Luxor. But there are temples, but not pyramids. So bit of a match, a little bit of a miss, I think. I may have just assumed pyramid when I wrote Egypt and tourists. So you have to teach yourself not to do that, not to guess. So let's move on to the next one. This was a unique one. This one involves Malibu, California, if I can find it. And I wrote the words water, wave, Malibu, earthquake. So sure enough, Malibu gets the highest waves it's had in over 10 years. I think they're about 10 feet tall. And the article itself doesn't say anything about an earthquake, but I wonder if there wasn't something that happened in the sea off the Pacific coast far, far away that created these waves. Something created the waves, right? So anyway, there's that. I'll go back to the drawing here so you can see that. This is water, wave, Malibu, earthquake. The next one was in a construction dig, a fall, an injury into a hole. I found this. Where are you at here? There's so many this month. It's hard to keep them all. Hard to keep them all straight. Here it is. Winnipeg woman falls into construction pit after a sidewalk sinks. So they were performing some sort of construction dig outside of her home next to a sidewalk that gave way. Took her to the hospital. 70 years old. Bit of a hit there. Although in my mind, when I was seeing this, it was a much bigger construction site. It was like a building that was taped off, and the hole was like, the size of a building essentially. That's what I was seeing. The next one. Now the next one is, I was looking for something that was more local to me, something that would have been meaningful to the people around me, my friends, wife, something that might raise their eyebrows a little bit. And this is Sherman, Texas. It's a town of about 40,000 people. And they have a town square. And I was seeing the town square, and I was understanding that it was some sort of accident. And then we found this happening. An elderly woman drives to the old neighbor at Sherman Town Center. Now, to be fair, Sherman Town Center is not the same as Sherman Town Square. They're about 4 or 5 miles apart. So I heard the word traffic accident came to me, or car accident, or just the word accident actually. And I was seeing the town square, but I was only seeing the front of buildings like this all the way around the square. And I wasn't seeing any cars, but I was assuming a car accident, but I wasn't seeing any cars. But it's interesting that it was showing me the fronts of buildings. Like my mind was trying to get me over the hump to see that the accident was going to involve a building. So anyway, it's kind of strange how your mind works, trying to lead you down a trail to the information that you're seeking. The next one is high mountain looking down on a valley, flooding, farmland. And we had some problems with flooding in, this is Australia, in Sydney. You see these are greenhouses, and obviously we've had some farmers hit with lots of flooding there. So let's go on to the next one. Bicycle accident outside of a tunnel. Car, a highway. Is it California? Is that East Bay? I used to live there in California, East Bay. So that's just what it resembled to me. I found this just this morning looking. On July 28th, there was an accident. Again, this is like London or somewhere. It's an accident backed up traffic, and if we scroll all the way down to the first entry, we have a biker injured. So the rider fell off his bike, and it caused an accident of some sort, which caused a couple more accidents behind him, I guess. But anyway, it was involving a tunnel. That was a nice, good hit this morning, I think, that I found. So let's move on to the next one. Oh, this is interesting. A man driving an old truck, hanging out the window, waving. Is he shooting? Is he waving? What is he doing? I saw an older truck, like a 70s pickup truck, and I saw the driver with his arm hanging out the window. He was either waving at people or something. I couldn't tell what he was doing. So we come across an article. See it here. It's right here somewhere. Hold on just a second. There he is, right there. Man's arrested, accused of waving an AR-15 in a Taco Bell drive-thru. So the guy behind or in front of him, they started having words, and somebody pointed a gun at somebody else, and police were called, and here it is. Someone in a truck waving a gun in the drive-thru. No shots fired, just the threat of it, I guess. Anyway, that was a nice hit. The next one, this was weird also, just like the cheese grater one. It was a bumblebee. I saw a bumblebee, big fat bumblebee in a field, hovering over just a field of tall grass, essentially is what it was. Bumblebee. And so I found this is a news article. Bumblebee has a recall on food. So bumblebee making the news. The next one was an announcement by Biden. I'm not sure there's any one article that fit the bill completely. I wrote big announcement, speech, blue curtains behind him, and wheelchair, question mark? Does it look like he was in a sitting position? I found this image today. Blue curtains, making some kind of speech. I don't consider this a hit. It's just there's not enough information. So we're just gonna move on right there. Just that's fine with me. Let's see. The next one, we're going to move over to the right under the red. It says the United Way. I saw the picture of them holding hands, the holding hands logo. Where's that at? I'll show it to you. Oh, right here. You can see that here. This is hands clasping. And I thought, is that the United Way logo? And that's all I saw. And it took me like 3 weeks to figure out that this was the Boys and Girls Club of America. Now there's not a well there's too much news on the Boys and Girls Club because they're all over America and they all have issue press releases and stuff. But the one I thought was most interesting was Shaquille O'Neal in the Boys and Girls Club donating money or whatever, smiling, and that's big news for them. So I'm going to consider that a hit. The next one was news with Mount Everest, Mountain Peak Everest, and there was more than one again. But the one I chose to show you here is Tesla vehicles reaching Mount Everest base camp for the first time. It was on July 18th. So that's some form of a hit there, I suppose. We'll move on. Fire truck hoses, weather related. That we've got wildfires going all across America right now. Most of it is typical for this time of year. So I mean that could have been anything. We've even got the temperatures are so hot here that we've even got fire trucks showing up just to sprinkle water on the kids. So that could be weather related as well. It's like a heat break for them. On the next one here we have island shaking, shoreline, mountains. Let's see what we've come up with here. And there was a major earthquake in the Philippines, killed 4, 7.0 earthquake. So I had written what? Oh, island shaking, shoreline, mountains, like everything is involved. All the Philippines, there's just a series of islands there, but you can take a look at that if you need to. After that, we had cab driver altercation. This was a bizarre one, really. Where are you at? Hold on just a second. So yeah, we had a cab driver altercation. This was a little extreme, I think. The driver beats a 34-year-old techie to death in a fight over the number of passengers in his cab. That's unfortunate. That's in India. After that, we have horses. Um, Lubbock, Texas, an animal sanctuary saved 68 horses, but they're now in dire need for food and supplies. I wrote horses pen, feeding. Seems like a match there. Let's move on quickly here. The next one was, oh, this is a good one. I'll show you the drawing first. Large diamond. That's all I wrote. Very vague, right? So here it is. We've got, where's that? Come on. The largest pink diamond discovered in the last 300 years. July 27th. I don't think I've ever seen a pink diamond before, but that's it. Next up, we have the rocket shuttle launch, which we saw in Europe, the Vega C rocket launch 22 days ago, puts that about, I don't know, mid-July or so. So the only other one we had on the page was a sandy blonde-haired person with a ponytail, very calm, sparking, I'm sorry, they were thin, that's thin. Sparks, fire, I wrote. Honestly, there's so many arsonists across America right now that a lot of these, I could have brought up any number of news articles on them. So I won't bore you with that. So, but that's it. This form of remote viewing, I believe, is more a mixture of it's probably more automatic writing since I'm not going very deep into this. But you can look that up online, automatic writing and remote viewing to see the difference. And just to let you know, the August predictions are out on my Patreon right now. So when you get a chance, go over and take a look. We'll see you.